So these are Favero Assioma power meters, and this is the Uno model, which means just the left hand side has the power meter. These are pedals I've been using, and power meter pedals I've been using for over a year. They've probably done 12 to 15,000 kilometers, so they've been really well tested in a full range of conditions. They've been absolutely fantastic and are my power meter of choice, even though I've got a few that I can potentially use. In terms of durability and in terms of wear, I've not had to service these at all. The bearings are absolutely fantastic. Of all the pedals that I've ever used, these are by far the best. They are smooth as you like, absolutely no play in any of the axle at all. So in terms of just as pedals, these are really good. Another nice thing is that clipping in and out is really easily. So when you're clipping in, it's nice for them to fall into the right place. So when the pedal's down, it makes it really easy to put your cleat into. It makes for really easy access into them. In terms of as a power meter, when I initially got these, I also had Vector 3S and the Cyclops power meter, also the single-sided, to test as a group test. All three were quite accurate, or at least they gave the same readings as each other on a test I did. But what I don't have is a Quark or an SRM, which you'd want to test it against to test the accuracy. They claim 1%, but to be honest, I don't think that really makes any difference. The biggest thing with power meters and what you want is for them to be consistent. So it doesn't matter if they're 10 watts over, 20 watts under, or anything like that, as long as when you're riding these you get the same power meter reading each time, because otherwise there's just no point having anything that's all over the place. But these have been absolutely brilliant. When you go out, you know that the power meter reading that it shows is consistent with what you tend to get. They're really easy to set up. I like that they've got a Allen key mount, makes it easy for me to swap between the bikes. That's a big difference against the Vectors. The Vectors have got a pedal spanner, which if you're not swapping between bikes, maybe that's not such a big deal, but for me this is really good. You can also you can get the Duo version, and you can upgrade these to the Duo, but for me, I personally don't see the point in having two-sided power meters. Okay, maybe for certain circumstances, but I think as long as you're using a power meter that's reliable and consistent, that's the most important thing. Even if you've got you've got a leg imbalance, as long as that is the same imbalance, it really doesn't matter if your left and your right are showing different figures. These will give an average power over your cadence throughout the pedal stroke. So they've got tension adjustment on the back here. You can adjust both the pedals. Mine are set up fairly low, which would probably mean that if you like them really tight, that would be absolutely no problem. The springs on the back again look really good. No wear, no problems with that at all. Compared to the Vectors, these use a rechargeable battery, which is you have a cable which connects up to them there, whereas the Vectors you have to add LR44 replaceable batteries. There are pros and cons to both. For these, if you're traveling with them, you've got to remember to take the charge cable, but as long as you've got that, then there really shouldn't be any problem. The Vectors, if you're traveling, then you've just got to take LR44 batteries. The Vectors are easy enough to change, although personally I like having these that you can just literally, your cable's ready, you come back from your ride, stick them on charge and make sure that they're fully charged up. Battery length is, I think, 120 hours, or could be less. I tend to charge them once a week or so, and after maybe 20 hours of riding. They're not user serviceable as far as I'm aware, but to be honest, they're in such good condition after so many miles. I don't think that you'd need to worry too much about that. I'm not aware of any problems that anyone's had with these pedals either, unlike some of the other brands that are available. So overall, I think these are a fantastic pedal. I'd definitely recommend them if you're looking for an entry level, or even if you're just looking for a power meter. and you want something that's easy and cheap to buy, these are definitely my recommendation.